Hey there, folks. It's me, Chris, with the Gigman's Life. Yeah, it's a Gigman's Life indeed. Yes, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you can get notified about the latest videos as they come available. And yeah, I just added that on. Just having some fun today. I'm sorry that I am late from where I said that I will make sure a video is up by 10 a.m., but as anybody else that lives around me knows, snow slows you down like a motherfucker. And, currently I had to go and make sure that everything was cleaned up. And I will tell you that a power shovel is just needed. The person who goes and a close friend of mine who suggests a lot of things for the channel suggested to get a power shovel, and yes, I got one. And 5 batteries later, it's a Ryobi, and this is not anyhow a sponsorship. I bought that with my own cash. I'm paying for it. It took me 5 batteries, but I got all that cleaned up and, doing pretty well quite quickly. It did suck the energy out of me still, but didn't go and kill my back. And it's currently 19 degrees out. And I also have to go and add a new thing now, because every time I go back to this, that's going to happen. So that's going to be something that's changed. But this main issue, thanks to the same buddy who went and told me to get a power shovel, he told me to go and check out Tip You in the App. And I will say Tip You in the App is a great channel covering Uber and rideshare. And as I'm saying, this is not just rideshare. This is not just about Uber or Lyft. This is not just about DoorDash. Grubhub's not existing anymore. It got Postmates. I don't know how long they're going to be flagging along. Instacart is still doing good, but it's war nutrition. DoorDash really planted themselves into everybody's psyche, and it's getting the default for delivery. People are saying it. Also, they've done some shifty shit, like putting restaurants that aren't in their thing on their platform, and they got ripped off by that because somebody realized it, and that they were selling their pies for less than what they were getting them at. So they went and, of course, ordered up and were getting paid a lot more money and pocketing the difference. So shifty shit can happen and return back to you for fucking with other people's businesses. But with Tip You in the App suggests, talking, this is more about our society in general. And he's saying, well, it's the app. Yes, the app is designed, but they aren't thinking about civility and what part that they're taking in on breaking down civility by not going and having people actually interact with each other in the same vehicle. And this all started with ATMs. Yes, when you're going, how is this ATMs? Well, remember, if you're a millennial or other people younger, you have never saw people actually physically go into a bank unless they're going for a loan. That's some people. Now it's everything's online. You don't really physically go to a bank for shit. Maybe go and do some old-fashioned shit, and banks are dying just as well, because keeping a bank open is a large amount of change, and they're closing down banks and branches quicker than anything. This is a lot of jobs that are dropping, but also the civility of you having to go and deal with a person. Then it came to self-checkout, then shopping online. And now you can be in the same car with a person and they don't bother to ask you to change a stop, add a stop. They do it on the app and they just think, well, it's not a problem to do it. And if you haven't been on these platforms, God bless you. But also the factor is that when you lose your humanity, you can go and treat people badly and not think that we are out here doing this hustle for pay. And yet they're going like this and saying, well, you shouldn't bring it up to the person that it's like, no. People should start learning this is why you get treated like shit, because you haven't learned that you have to actually talk to somebody else. Because communication is mainly why a lot of relationships break down. So, you know, with the factor of people going and dealing with machines and dealing with computerized AI service desks and everything else, not dealing with people and pushing this, you're getting people who are just deciding, yes, I'm just going to go and add a stop. Not asking the person, hey, did you just go and accept a trip that's making more money than this whole trip by 10 times? But now I just added maybe $2 and now you're stuck with me. Unfortunately, I'm not a person like that. If you add a stop without asking me, I want you out of my car. I want the apps to adjust this, because I had an issue that was created by a couple in Worcester, Massachusetts. I have the whole video, but as I say, I do not, one, it's against the policies of Uber to put these videos out. It also can be against the law to put these videos out. Ask our buddy, our pal, DoorDash girl about that. She's looking 4 to 8 years in jail for illegal surveillance and dissemination of the video. I'm not playing with that. And, to go and deal with the fact that they would have, in a heartbeat, if I kicked them out of the car, because when they did that, I went like this. I'm like, you changed the stop. Oh, we just want to be dropped off over the Dunkin' Donuts. It's just around the corner. And it's like, well, thank you for making me lose $50. I'm not going to go and hold back. I'm not going to be completely rude, but then to go and get, you can't talk to her like that. What? You didn't want to go and ask me about just dropping you off around the corner? You had to just go and add it on the app? Because it seemed like you didn't pay attention at the time that, and of course they're suggesting, oh, we're going to get this ride for free. So it could be that they went and had that other app, and I don't know. But that is just some bullshit. And I'm calling them out on it. I'm calling Uber out because they don't go and prevent issues like this by going like this and having something if a person's adding the stop. Instead of going, added stop changed. Have a notification saying, request to add a stop, request to change stop added. And also in the algorithm, if it's around the corner, less than a mile, something that's really not going to change my ability to do the other trip, why did you take the other trip away? Because that's what happens on the platform. The second that they add a stop, they change a stop. And I've already accepted another trip that's going to make me more money. That's a kick in the nards to go and suddenly lose that trip. And also because I don't like working in Worcester. Yes, that. And if you ever see how Worcester is spelled, if you're not in Massachusetts, you're going to go and call it, oh, how far is Worcester? I don't know, but it's called Worcester. How the fuck do you get Worcester out of that? Don't ask me. Massachusetts is filled with city names. Haverhill, Haverhill, Lee, Lennox. Lee is easy, but Lennox, and I'm not even getting into further because this is still on the factor that society is setting ourselves up for failure because we're taking away civility by electronics. And now with AI, you think that people are going to be civil to an AI device? Is it going to be starting to recognize when people are getting angry and be able to calm down people? No. It's going to take a while before that shit happens. But yet, when you take civility out, when you take interactions from real people out, this is what we're going to have as a society. We're going to have people that are going to go and say, oh, don't take it out on her. You shouldn't be talking like that. I'm going to talk like anything else of saying, excuse me, but usually people go and ask, that's not a real. It's fucking common sense. Well, we're going to get this ride for free. I don't know if they got it for free, honestly, and I don't care. And I dropped them off, and I went and talked to Uber about it and made it clear. The only reason why they were in my car past that point was because she was pregnant, and God forbid that they're pissing off Uber drivers because of having a pregnant person in the car, and are trying to go and shop around for the first Uber driver that's going to kick a pregnant woman out of the car. And if somebody does that, I will be going like this and saying, it better be a very good reason to do so. And I hope that you like being the person on that video. And if it was in your car and everything else, and they were recording the whole situation, then they should get deplatformed just as well. If not, Uber should be supporting the whole situation of them getting screwed over as well. Because it's not fair for the situation to be like that. But this is mainly the problem of automation and not connecting with humans, because here's the factor. If you just programmed the app to do that, you're a human that programmed the app to do that. You didn't go and think that the algorithm should be programmed to recognize it's less than a mile. How much is a less than a mile of a change of stop going to affect me getting to another customer? That is some of the crap that happens out here that does irritate the shit out of us. And Tip You in the app presented it about it being a reserve trip, which is somewhat different, and yes, it will affect it, but we should be allowed to go and say, look, I'm sure that you can get another trip or something else. I have another one. Or it's one of those things of going like this and saying, hey, I got a reserved. Yeah, I can make money and get into that, but you know what? I'm not going to take it. But this is something that we shouldn't be having that type of discussion with if we think that we can do the trip and it's not going to affect it, and then they change or add a stop on, then they should be paying us half of the other trip. Or better still, It should be asking us whether or not we want to continue the trip, because that is just wrong. And I know that, it's the factors, but it's still, it causes animosity. You're generating more issues that you have to deal with. And it would keep the factor of people like the ones in Worcester using pregnancy as you can't do something to the person. I really wish I could kick him out at that time, but I'm smart enough to know that that would have been on video, and they would have streamed it right out to go and do that. If we can't go and stream them, they got to be notified as well. But that continues my rant. And I will say, Tip You in the App is a great channel to go and check out, but I still am on the factor of, if you're going to go and produce videos, don't do them in the car. As I can go and show you.
Hey there, folks. It's Chris with the Gig
I do
Life
this
Life Indeed.
in the back seat if I was. This is me setting up for doing it. I highly suggest that you hit like, share, and subscribe. If you're going to go out and do this stuff, try to keep yourself on board. Don't share the videos of you with customers. Don't go and give evidence against yourself about driving and looking at the camera at the side. You're just setting yourself up for future failure, and insurance companies, and including the app, going like this and saying, hey, we don't have to cover you, because they're going to go and request discovery, and they're going to talk you back down because you're doing this. So just keep it in mind. If you want to go and do the gig life and produce videos and stuff, that you showing these videos or producing them in the styles that you're putting yourself at action, and you're gonna most likely lose coverage. So you have yourself a great day, and I gotta still deal with a lot of other issues. So thank you very much for watching.